Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we'll complete our chapter 2 of Mr. Chips. Last day I discussed how Weatherby shared that this building of Brookfield is was established in the reign of Queen Elizabeth and it is very old building. So I will start reading the text without wasting time. It was during one of these last periods in the reign of first George that the main structure had been rebuilt and large additions made. Later, after Napoleonic Wars and until mid-Victorian days, the school declined again both in the numbers and repute. Weatherby, who came in 1840, restored its fortune somewhat, but its subsequent history never raised it to front rank status. It was nevertheless a good school of the second rank. Several notable families supported it. It supplied fair samples of the history-making men of the age, judges, member of parliament, colonial administrator, a few peers, and bishop. Mostly, however, it turned out merchants, manufacturers, and professional men with a good sprinkling of country squires and persons. It was the sort of school which, when mentioned, would sometimes snobbish people confess that they were rather thought they had heard of it. So the writer is now giving you the historic events of the wars, Napoleonic War in Nepal और in Napoleon और विक्टोरियन डेज में जो एक वॉर हुई थी जो अपने दौर की एक बड़ी मशहूर वॉर है जो जंग हुई थी वो उसका जिक्र भी करता है वो आपको उसके अलावा बहुत सारी और इंफॉर्मेशन ऐड करता है लाइक व्हेन Weatherby joined this institution I mean this Brookfield in 1840 and he worked harder. Why? Because before it met to its worst situation. I mean, it decreased in its repute, and then Weatherby worked harder to regain the fame of this institution, Brookfield. He worked harder, and then a lot of what is the success of any institution when the particular institution produces a class of successful people or successful person. So here the writer is telling you all the high class status men or persons like merchants, administrators, judges, I mean, all the professional of high ranking uh, authoritative persons, they all are from Brookfield. I mean, they graduated from Brookfield, and that is the reputation that was rebuilt by Weatherby. So this is what he is telling you here. And then at the end, he says, I mean, the writer tells you that there are a few snobbish. Snobbish होता है बढ़ा चढ़ा के बात करने वाले ठीक है खुद पसंद से लोग होते हैं जो कि ये कहते हैं कि उन्होंने तो इसके बारे में कभी सुना ही नहीं है जो कि जाहिर सी बात है झूठ ऐसे पॉसिबल ही नहीं है आपके इदारे का एक बहुत बड़ा स्कूल है और आपको उसका आपके इलाके का और आपको उसका पता ही ना हो लाइक अगर हम बात करें हम डिग्री कॉलेज फॉर वुमेन की बात करें इफ समवन ऑफ your parents says we don't know where that पर्टिकुलर कॉलेज एग्जिस्ट तो आपको फौरन पता चल जाएगा कि ये गलत बात है क्योंकि ये हमारे इलाके का सबसे बड़ा और एक मशहूर कॉलेज है तो ब्रूकफील्ड के साथ भी यही सिचुएशन थी बट if it had if it had not been this sort of school it would probably not have taken chips for chips in any social academic sorry सो जो मिस्टर चिप्स था उसने इसीलिए ये स्कूल जो है वो ज्वाइन किया था क्योंकि वो मेरी वो जो दूसरा स्कूल था उससे वो खुश नहीं था और वहाँ उसको बहुत ज्यादा इश्यूज थे लेकिन क्योंकि ये एक बहुत बड़ा इदारा था और फिर सबसे जो अहम चीज है इदारे का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर बहुत ज्यादा hard work था. So if the administrator, I mean, if the authoritative or the head of the institution is strong, all the things, I mean, all the staff, the whole staff or students, everyone is restrict or they follow, they are disciplined. तो जो ब्रूक फील्ड है उसमें भी यही सिनेरियो थे कि ब्रूक फील्ड में क्या सीन था. ब्रूक फील्ड में ये सीन था कि उसमें वेदर बॉय जो है वो बड़ी एक अच्छे तरीके से चीजों को डील कर रहा था और यही बात मिस्टर चिप्स को बहुत ज्यादा पसंद आई थी. But if it had not been the sort of school, it would probably not have taken Chips. For Chips, in any social or academic sense, was just a respectable but no more brilliant than Brookfield itself. तो Chips को भी यही चीजें बहुत पसंद थी. It had taken him some time to realize this at the beginning. Not that he was boastful or conceited, but he had been in his early 20s as ambitious as the most other young men at such an age. His dreams had to get a headship eventually, or at any rate, a senior mastership in really first class school. It was only gradually, after repeated trials and failures, that he realized inadequacy of his qualification. His degree, for instance, was not particularly good, and his discipline, though good enough and improving, wasn't absolutely reliable under all conditions. So you can see, like all the young people, I mean, like all the people in 20s, Chips was also ambitious. He really wanted to achieve something. I mean, he had the dream to be the head of that institution like everyone else, like a normal human being, those who have desire to achieve the goal at one sitting. Like, you have a goal and you want you give your 100% to achieve it. So Chips was like this. But when this is what we think, we believe that okay, now I completed my master or my particular degree in specific subject, and when I'll be graduated, or I'll get the degree and I'll move out of this institution, all the other concerned departments are eager to give me in. I mean, they're dying to let me in. And this is what we believe. Okay, this is not the reality, this is what the dream that we have constructed. But when we move out, we applied a lot of time in various institutions, but we meet with failure. Why we meet with failure? Because there is something that is lacking in our personality or our academics. As Mr. Chips, he was also a person with full of dreams, but when he applied or when he tried, he met with repeated failures because his degree wasn't that much good. So the good thing was his discipline, but that wasn't also reliable. I mean, what is the reliability of a discipline when you maintained it? Okay, when you do it on a I mean, when you do it with balanced approach. So his discipline wasn't that much balanced. Sometimes he was very harsh, or sometimes he was very soft. I mean, he couldn't maintain the balance. So all these things are very much important if you want to attain or achieve something. Okay, let's move forward. About 1880, after he had been at Brookfield a decade, he began to he began to recognize that and that the odds were heavily against him being able to better himself by moving somewhere else. But about the time also, the possibility of staying where he was began to fill a comfortable niche in his mind. At 40, he was rooted, settled, and quite happy. At 50, he was the doyen of the staff. I mean, the dean, you can believe it. At 60, under a new and youthful head, he was Brookfield, the guest of honor at old Brookfieldian dinners, the court of appeal in the matters affecting Brookfield history and tradition. And in 1913, when he turned 65, he retired, was presented with a check and a writing desk and a clock, and went across the road to live at Mrs. Wickett's. A decent career, decently close. 3 cheers for old Chips, they all shouted at the uproarious end of term dinner. 3 cheers indeed. But there was more to come, an unguessed epilogue, an encore played or to a tragic audience. So this is the last paragraph of the chapter number 2, which tells you how, which actually tells you the story or the life history of Mr. Chips in 3 to 10 lines. Like, he improved a lot. I mean, first he struggled hard to attain a seat, to attain a position. When he realized that he has to work harder if he wanted to achieve, and he had some lacking in his degree, so he was satisfied. He relied on what was given to him, and then he moved to and he met with success gradually. I mean, at 40 he was rooted, settled, and he was happy, and he accepted what was given to him. He was comfortable living at Brookfield, and then at 50 he was the head of um, the staff or the Brookfieldian, and then after that he was invited for, I mean, at the old age he was invited as a chief guest or a guest of honor at dinners or the parties arranged by Brookfield, and then he was retired, and he was also given the, you can see the gifts from the school, and that was the chair or clock and a writing desk. So this is how he was living at Brookfield, and then he moved to Mrs. Wickett's. So this is all about in this chapter, that the story of Mr. Chips that is actually starting. This is the end. So you can see the events that are not balanced. Writer is telling you sometime present time, and then he leads you to the middle one, and then he moves to future. I mean, the what will happen next. So these things you will notice in the writing style of the writer. So that's all about today's lecture. If you have any query, you can ask again in comment section, or you can ask anytime whenever you feel difficulty. Inshallah, we'll meet again with the exercise of this chapter. Till then, take care and stay blessed.